Hey guys, welcome back to Kumasao Reviews. We've got the Bandai Metal Structure RX-93 new Gundam, and honestly it's a really special piece. I don't really know where to categorize it. It's like, even with the Ultimate Optimus Prime, it's big, it's huge, like best collectible I've ever owned, but it still kind of falls into that category of toy because just like a Flame Toys or something, it's big, it's huge, it's heavy, but you could pull it down, pose it. This one, it's not really made as much for the play. It's more of a showcase piece. Almost, it's not a statue, but you almost, its focus is so centered around just the display aspects of it that you almost have to treat it as such. And you'll see what I mean as we go about reviewing it. But just off the bat, this guy right here, he is around about 15 1/4 inches tall. Alright? So he's considered 160 scale, 1/60th per advertising. And sorry if I get on camera here, but I'm just pulling a random metal build Gundam off the shelf so you can see in terms of size comparison just how big he is. Pretty frickin' huge, right? So I'm going to take him off of the desk for a moment just so you guys can see all of the accessories that he comes with, and then we'll get right back into reviewing this figure. Alright, so kind of panning from left to right. So, of course he comes with his box, nice big box with a handle on it. It opens. There are two other thick cardboard boxes inside which show, well, they house the new Gundam as well as the accessories. Now just looking at what we have here, these are some additional pieces for the base. The base comes as just a very flat, normal base. And then you could do add-on parts that come with it to make it more of a hangar type of deal. So this is a piece for the backpack. This is amazing. It comes with its own spudger that, of course, moves pieces, gets into little nooks and crannies and stuff like that. It's just an all-around really good tool that will help you with pretty much anything that you need to reach on this figure. So don't lose that if you buy this guy. Alright, so these are just additional pieces for the base, the hanger. This is part of his backpack that holsters the sword, as you can see. Comes with a variety of little minifigures. I don't know how they got knocked down here, but a lot of random guys in spacesuits. And there's an Amuro in there too, so I don't know where he went, but we'll find him by the end of this review. Don't worry about that. And some of these guys don't have the little clear stands on them as well. Let me make sure this is focus so you guys can actually see. But these guys, there's some pieces over here that actually let them kind of float in the air. It's pretty cool. Alright, now looking over here, his weapons. Ugh, jeez. His weapons, he's got the cannon, he's got his blaster, and he's got his shield. They all have their individual gimmicks and things like that we'll go over. And here is his base. Now it's already partially assembled into the hangar mode. I've got the pieces on the side as well as the lights on the front. And we'll go ahead and show those in a bit. Okay, and here it is with the hangar parts put on. So it's got some moving cranes, and you could replace these with like the longer ones. They don't actually reel up and down or anything like that. There's one on the side here too. You do have the little Amuro figure. Alright, this moves in and out, as well as this piece. Rotates. And then the clasps can move. Came out right there, but yeah. Pretty basic stuff. And then more towards the bottom here, take the cannon. I don't know if I got it upside down or right side up. Right. On the other side, let's put the shield there. as well as the blaster there. Yeah, weapon storage. Pretty cool stuff. Alright, so now we can get back to the figure itself. You know, it's 15 1/4 inches tall. It has die cast in it. Yeah, gimmicks galore. And just to give you guys kind of a peek of the detail in here. Zooming in, because I know the lights are kind of bright. Lots of different tones and things like that. You see the different grays and stuff like that. All of the tampos everywhere. I mean, it really is one of those pieces that's done to the nines. Rotate this a bit. Seriously, it's no joke. Definitely not in the respect of detailing and whatnot. So, yeah. But again, 15 1/4 inches tall. Taking a look, having to stand up for this, at the articulation, that's where it gets outside of that toy range. You know, I was expecting a large metal build pre-ordering this, and it's not that, and you're going to see that in a second. So, looking at the movement, it's not blocked or anything like that even. It just plain doesn't move past like 45-ish degrees on the swivel. That's the extent of the downward look. So the downward look is still pretty straightforward. Upward, he's got a little bit, but they're all in that kind of straightforward looking range. So neck articulation, no like side-to-side movement, anything like that. It's what it is. Alright, so the arms, pretty normal stuff. 360, outward swing. Full 360 at the bicep. I will say one thing that's nice about this, the joints are just buttery smooth. Really firm, but just sweet as butter to play with. Alright, so 90-degree elbow. What the bleep? Not really a fan of that. And like a blatant 90 degrees too. Like no double joint, nothing hidden, nothing extends. Like, yeah, that's 90 bleeping degrees. And it's weird because it even has this little gimmick here where it presses in when you do the elbow bend, but it's still 90 effing degrees. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the wrists and fingers. Make sure the camera's stable there. Alright, so the wrist, it actually has rock all the way in and out and stuff like that. Full rotation, good wrist rotation. The fingers themselves, though, they're articulated, but still pretty basic. Alright, make sure you can actually see there. Alright, so no like real spreading of the fingers and stuff like that. They can move this way, but for whatever reason, this one can't really move outwards. Don't want to break it or anything. And then they have these like two joints right there, and the palm actually blocks the fingers from going in like as far as they should. So like this only goes in this far. It can't even like do like that. Again, what the bleep? So you see the thumb just in one spot, and at least the thumb can have some swivel there. But even the thumb, it can't go like out to the side on top. Like it's bizarre. All right, so zooming all the way out. Get to the waist. No ab crunch. What the bleep? And about 30 degrees each way. That's it. No extension, no nothing. That's what it is. Now, I don't want to laugh, but it's kind of funny. Alright, so the hip skirts move up. These actually move out, and that's part of the gimmick or whatever. In the back, these move back a little bit. Decent. But, you got the hip skirts that move all the way up. And check out how far these go. Boom! Done. Lock. It ain't going no further. What? That's the frontward swing. Alright, so look at the backward swing here, and it's got these really nice ratcheted hips. Backward swing is actually pretty good for backwards. They're about the same both ways, but I mean, backward, that's sweet, but frontwards, what? Alright, let's look at the knee bend. This piston here is effing amazing. But single jointed knee, and it stops right there. That is your knee bend, about 45 degrees. Alright. Get that down. Thigh, 360 swivel. And then ankles. Nice, really firm ankles too. That's the extent of that. There's no like backwards, no forwards, no movement in the foot. Boom. There you go. So yeah, at about $1,000, not gonna lie, in that respect, I expected quite a bit more, especially with the standard that they set with their metal builds and the like. So yeah, I guess that's just not what it was going for. Alright, so before getting on to the accessories, I'd like to show you guys the light gimmicks here. Now in the instructions it tells you to take the arm all the way off. And you can, just like the metal builds, those arms come off too. They just pull right out. Pop right back in. But there's a panel under here that you access. And for the sake of this, so you can see where the panel's at, we'll take the arm off. Just pop right onto the floor. But we're going to put it right back on. You don't need to take the arm off at all to take the panel off. But obviously it gives you a lot more room to see, especially the first time doing it. So by all means. So you can see the switches underneath there. No matter what, they're so deep in that you're going to have to use the spudger to get to them. So whether you have the arm off or not. And this side, it's also the battery compartment. So there are a total of 3 LR41 batteries in this guy. So 1 on this side, 2 on that side. And there are 2 switches, 1 and 2. I'm going to flip the one that says number 2 first. Alright, since his eyes didn't light up, that's obviously the internal light. Should be inside of here. Open that up. And I like that it does the flashing thing and stuff like that too. Alright. So we'll keep that light on, but... So that means number 1 has to be the eyes. Okay, and we will go ahead and turn off some lights here. I like that they're bright, but they're not like obnoxious. They look good. So I give them kudos for the electronic gimmicks. And there's part of me that's like, well, maybe he doesn't have ab crunch because he has the cockpit inside and this and that. But then I'm like, you know what? Even the Master Grade Gundams have ab crunch and they have the opening cockpits and this and that. So, I don't know, man. I just feel like all in all, there's more that could have been done with this. Especially since this part that flips up is a separate piece and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't want to sound too negative. But, I mean, yeah, as you can probably tell, this isn't necessarily my cup of tea, even though I think it's really nice. Alright? Now, on the backpack, especially since we're about to go over the accessories, I will show you, these pieces rotate. These actually open up. On both sides. Alright? Maybe I should zoom in. Haha. Then they just slide right out. And then you can take the one that holds the sword, slide it right in, and then you can rotate that one way or the other. And now we'll go ahead and look over the accessories. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and look at his weapons. This sword obviously just pulls right out of here. Now, with all of these weapons, I'm not going to show this for each one, but they have a tab that presses out to the side. You can use this, you can use the spudger, however you want to do it. There we go. Alright, and I think I may have pushed it out to the wrong side, but each of them has a tab. I'm going to zoom out here. Rotate him around. And on one of his hands, I already have the tab flipped out. There's a tab that flips out from his palm. Now, I don't really like this, because when you're doing it this way, now you've got to deal with, okay, what? Making sure both the top and bottom line up and this and that. Personally, I wish they would have just had like a piece of the palm that comes off, like a cover. And then from there, you could just peg it in with the weapon directly. But there's a sword. I'm actually taking a look real quick to make sure that I have that sword facing the right way. Yep, I do. And from there, got a variety of beams that you can use. Use that one, actually. It just pegs in. And this one, I believe. Can you peg that in at the bottom? I thought you could. It's this one. The smaller one that pegs it to the bottom. Alright. So there's that one. I'm going to lower this down a little bit. And on this end, to access a smaller beam saber, turn the palm inwards like that, bring that down, and this comes out. From there, of course it's giving me a hard time. Just do the same thing with the other hand. Alright, and here's that. Here's him with both sabers in hand. Alright. I don't know how I knew that was going to happen. Something about him right there. But yeah, even when it comes to balancing and stuff, those ankles not letting the feet touch the floor like they should, man, you really get nothing. He has to... We just straight stood up right like a weirdo. That's what it is, though, I guess. But, yeah. Alright, and here he is. I mean, there's not much you could do with his legs and stuff like that. Ugh. So it really doesn't make for much in terms of dynamic, but his blaster here does have a gimmick. You can move that, and that expands. And just for the sake of zooming in so you can see the weapons a little bit better. And the detailing on everything is just really well done, but the articulation is simply not there. Now the shield, pretty straightforward stuff. But it does transform in a sense. And something has to be said for the paint on this thing too. I mean, it's fantastic. So that flares out. And this piece can actually move up as well. And there you have that. So to get this attached, this just clips onto the bottom of the forearm. Super simple. And that's one of those areas where I will say the simplicity of this piece really does have a positive to it because, I mean, everything's easy to access. Fairly easy to tack on. Looks way better looking to the side like that. But yeah, there you go. That's a shield. Alright, and it's meant more for when he's on his stand being held up, but his cannon can actually attach to his backpack. So the way you do that is this piece here in the middle. You can use a spudger. See if I can access it. You kind of gotta get underneath here. This piece right here, this handle looking piece, actually comes off, so you can access it better. But then it's kind of like an L. Like that. Move that down. Now you can put that handle piece on, again, if you want to, just for the sake of remembering it and where it goes. But if you ever see that fall off or anything, it stays on pretty good. But yeah, there you go. And then you just take this, it goes in and slides down. Boom. And then on the cannon right there, same thing. Boom. Huh? And there's that. And I have to say, it really sucks not being able to do it on camera, getting him to his super mode here, because there are a lot of moving pieces and stuff, like even this hip piece, just for example. It's really cool and really fun, but it just takes a while. But I think this shows off better than anything the amount of detail that's put into these piece with all the internals and stuff like that. There'll be more close-up pictures on the gallery on kumastyle.com, of course, that article. But yeah, it's just freaking boss. And then these pieces in front of the vents, while knocking everything around, can actually come out, and you can move the vents up and down too. So that's pretty cool. And then just closing on the head here, closing in. You can actually get this split and show some of the internals on the head and stuff like that. It's really neat. There we go. Okay. Now let's get them displayed on the hanger and get you guys out of here, man. I know you guys have been patient. This has been a longer review, but like I said, the detailing is key on this one. Alright guys, and one last display dealie to send you on your way. Again, this has been the Metal Structure RX-93 New Gundam. And it's pretty darn nice, but it's dependent on what you're looking for as well. So, if you're kind of looking for a giant metal build, no, that's not it. And honestly, I will say in that respect, I'm disappointed. Now, on the other hand, I don't and can't see myself really ever having a particular Gundam that displays this well in my collection, because I don't do models. When I do, I don't detail them to that extent, that kind of deal. I mean, this is really, really, really nice. It's a really nice, hefty die cast. It's a beautiful piece. The detailing on it is absolutely spectacular. Now, do I personally feel like it's $950 the MSRP? 950-ish? Maybe like $10, $20 off? That nice of a display? No. It's hard for me as a collector not to harken back to things like the Ultimate Optimus Prime, which was actually around that price at retail, and it's the best die-cast mecha toy, I think, objectively, ever made, and probably ever will be made. So when you get into that kind of price range, near $1,000, standards obviously go way, 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 way up. And for it not to have the articulation in particular and things like that, it is a bit of a letdown. But at the end of the day, this is going on 99.999999 with a line over it. It's going on a shelf. It's going to be displayed. And in that respect, you actually can't beat this. It displays much better than my Ultimate Optimus Prime. It's just not as nice of a product. So, you've watched the review. This has been as in-depth as I feel that I can actually get with that. You know, money's subjective. My $1,000 may not mean the same to somebody who has $1 million. My $100 may not mean the same to somebody who only has $1,000 to their name. So it's all subjective. It's all on you. Look over this review. Look over other reviews. I'm definitely not one of those ones that says, just watch me, or I don't care who you watch. Get as many viewpoints as you can and make a decision that works for yourself. But I do want to know what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Hopefully you found it informative. And thank you for your support. I'll see you next time.